How does the NBA look with this decision?
I think they look fantastic. I think that Adam Silver clearly appears to be ahead of the curve, and I'm proud of what they did here. Let me give props to my man Chris Haynes for Yahoo. That's my brother. Always good to see him doing his thing. Keep it up, bro. Let me get back to this kid, Jalen Green here. I spoke to his agent, Aaron Goodwin, last night. I spoke to a couple of NCAA coaches, obviously some folks in the NBA community. Look at what the NBA is doing here. Essentially, what you're taking are top prospects. You know, you're offering the opportunity. Let's say, for example, you're one of those rare stars coming out of high school where it's clear that you're destined for the NBA. You could go to college, you could play 1 year before coming into the NBA, or, you know, you've got some people like LaMelo Ball and others that have gone overseas, or they've gone to Australia or China or someplace like that. Well, guess what? The NBA said, we're tired of sending our scouts all the way over there. We're tired of being devoid of the opportunities for these young men to really develop their skills and what have you, because they need to go someplace else just to earn money, because the NCAA won't allow them to do so, particularly when it comes to profiting off of their likeness. Well, here's a solution. Even though the average salary in the G League is $35,000 to $50,000, we're here giving these guys $500,000. I'm told in Jalen Green's case, it's definitely more than $500,000. Plus, we're giving them the opportunity. They could go to college if they want to, and we will pay for their education. So we're not sacrificing their education for the benefits of basketball, but we're still allowing them to play basketball, get a decent salary, to say the least. I mean, the average salary in the world ain't even $50,000, $60,000. You talk about a kid making $500,000 or more. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it puts the NCAA on notice that you can't get away with exploiting these athletes the way that you've been doing for decades. Your time is up. The NBA is on the scene. You only serve in 1 year there. You go to the G League for 1 year. You develop your skills. You learn the NBA game, you know, as an understudy to some degree from those guys in there. And not only that, you're available for the draft. It's not like a particular team has your rights. You're able to enter. In Jalen Green's case, it will be the 2021 NBA draft, and he's eligible for any team that's slotted to take him in whatever position they want to take him at, while at the same time being in that developmental league, learning an NBA system, being paid in excess of $500,000 while still getting his education paid for if he so chooses to do it. I'm told it'll probably be online as opposed to him actually attending a university. It will be online classes. But all of those things I think are a great thing. I called Aaron Goodwin myself last night to express how happy I was that this happened. And I hope to see more of it from elite athletes coming out of prep until the NCAA steps up and starts taking care of these dudes and compensating them the way they deserve.
The NBA looks very good. Adam Silver looks good. But I want to focus on the NCAA for a second, because by comparison, Mark Emmert, as usual, looks bad. And this is consistently the case. And by the way, Mark Emmert's not the first NCAA president who's looked bad. They usually look bad. They are currently debating silly issues that are very one-sided. There's really no argument to not let the kids profit off their own likeness off the court. The only argument for that is because you want to control them. So why do we like the idea of college basketball being the minor league for the NBA? Because what this signals is, no, there's another viable minor league. The G League is, yeah, sure, the average salary for different lower-level players may be a middle-class salary, which, by the way, has its own benefits, rather than college. And so maybe some kids would say, no, I think I'll do better going to college, whether I make the NBA or not. But for the elite prospects, as Stephen A. said several times, $500,000 or more, it's good. And you're learning basketball, and you can dispense with the kind of pretense, the hypocrisy of the quote-unquote student athlete when it's an elite guy who's going to be one and done and just kind of show up to class to check the boxes and then use it as a minor league and build their star up and get out of there as soon as possible, make money for the NCAA and the schools and get out of there as soon as possible. So why do we want college basketball in the first place? It seems to me there are two reasons. One, we have a sentimental attachment to it. We know we watch documentaries and you know, reminisce about the old days and the Big East and all that kind of stuff. And sure, and they're great memories, and that will continue for some lower-level players. Why not? And we can watch it. And two, it's because we think college is good for young people. That's a good value to have as a country. It may be patronizing in a certain way at certain times because it's not for everyone all the time, particularly if you're coming out of poverty, for example, and you have a generation of people you'd like to help, and the money would be right there if only you could go and ply your trade like everyone else in the world. But there are rules in place that keep you, or there are incentives in place to keep you funneling you towards something you don't really want to do, in this case, college for some of these guys. But it's basically a good value that we like college for young people. So that's what's keeping the college system in place in the first place. Are those strong enough reasons to not do something like this? Well, clearly not. We can dispense with the hypocrisy of the elite showing up in college for 1 year and then bouncing and going right to the NBA. This makes more sense. It's a more honest way to do things. It doesn't really hurt the NBA at all. Maybe a little bit in the sense that now college can't be the star-making machine that it was for the NBA, but the NBA makes stars by themselves very well. They look really good right now. By comparison, the NCAA looks, as usual, short-sighted and foolish.
Max, when you brought up the issue of star power, I think that was something that is applicable to a Zion Williamson or a Trae Young. But I also feel like we're moving into a different realm here within the basketball space, guys. And I've said this before, and I know it breaks a lot of college basketball fans' hearts. But when you look at the pecking order of notoriety around individual players, right, it goes NBA, then it goes high school, then it goes college. Like, it's hard for you guys to tell me who some of the top college players are this year in college basketball, right? Obi Toppin, some guys that have came on ESPN.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.